I gave my life to Jesus when I was 15, and for the next 2 years when I was in high school, I kind of slid away from it and felt like I was supposed to go to Alabama. While I was at Alabama, I decided to rush a fraternity, and I knew that finding community in college was extremely important. I was leaving my family back home, going to a school that was out of state for me, and so I knew community and friendships were so important for my life and the trajectory of where I was going. But for the next 2 years, I really struggled to find community in the Greek system, and I was struggling with alcohol and partying and stuff, and so it was just a really odd combination. I actually went home after my sophomore year, and I remember how patient and how kind my dad was. I realized that he knew that I was struggling with something, but there was so much grace and so much just this welcoming spirit for him. He invited me back to church, and there was so much mercy, and it reminded me a lot of the relationship that I had with Jesus and my Father's grace in heaven too. And so after going to church with him and still struggling a little bit, there was that inner conflict. I remember rededicating my life because my dad had reminded me just what grace and what true love and unconditional love looked like. When I went back to Alabama my junior year, I was actually moving back into the fraternity house. Still inner conflict, but now I had hope, and I had that faithfulness from God and His love, and there was that driving factor that pushed me towards one in Tuscaloosa. And I remember I was still alone, still struggling with friendships. That kind of gave me more hope because there was worship, and I was hearing the word again, and I was surrounded by college students who were going through the exact same thing that I was. And then I remember when 252 started getting plugged, and I felt the Holy Spirit strongly tell me that I needed to get involved. And I thought at that point it was for community, but now I realize that it was so much more than that too. And so that first chapel, seeing those students, just how passionate they were and walking away from things that I had been struggling with as well, it made me realize that going into ministry was one of the most impactful things I could do with my life. And that was my personal story. And so that was the first time where I felt really called to ministry. And honestly, from that point forward, it was super easy for me to just plug in and started leading small groups and attending small groups and making just all these friends that I had been praying for almost 2 years at this point. And God not only redeemed my desire to have community and healthy community, but He's given me a life purpose that is beyond anything that I could have ever asked for. It set me free from depression and alcohol and loneliness, isolation, all of these dark things that I was going through. And it gave me hope, and it gave me purpose. And my relationship with Jesus has redeemed my entire past, and it's given me purpose and vision and freedom and love in a way that I could share to people who were going through the exact same thing as I was. I didn't realize at the time why I was in Greek life, why I struggled for 2 years, why I even got the random scholarship in the mail to go to Alabama. But now I realize that it was all for where I'm at right now. Now I'm at Highlands College, and I'm pursuing my call to ministry. I serve at Grandview with students, I'm involved with One with college students, and I'm pursuing a call to pastoral leadership because I know that God's going to use my story to inspire hope for people. I've seen what God's done in my own life and also in the lives of others because of my story and because of His word, and I'm never going back.